Hello, everyone. We're just letting everyone come in and checking our polls. On the way in, if you guys can hit that like, that helps push this to the YouTube homepage and has more people see it. And also, we have Kasia back with us from Daily Fredo. And we'll get more into specifics here in a few minutes. And mods, you should see the bot this time as well, helping you out. I think last time it accidentally got removed from the moderator list. Yeah, I see some people talking about Ian's deep dive. I saw maybe about 30 minutes of it. And yeah, he's showing the islands and all kinds of stuff. Get into some very interesting territory. Ties between Erica Kirk and possibly Einstein? Oh, Einstein. Okay.
That's
I was like, really? I was like, really?
Is EMC square E for Erica?
Yeah, that almost caught me off guard for a second.
That's a good nickname, Einstein.
Kasia, Kasia. Loved your live this morning. Did you have a live this morning?
I did not, but I did upload a video. So thank you.
Okay. All right, let's see. Prosthetics. Private Island. Yeah, a lot of people are still thinking that Charlie's alive. And apparently, a lot of people are thinking that Einstein is also alive. That's been a new thing that we've been seeing here.
So maybe they're with Elvis.
And looks like, let's see. We have a super chat here. Paul Pearson, thanks for the super. I've been saying it for a few months now. CK's thing was a Hollywood production. It all only makes sense in that light. Keep doing what you're doing. Thanks. Do you have any opinions on the fake death theory for Charlie?
I don't think it was I don't think he's alive, first of all. But I do believe in the stage theory that everything was staged. The world is a stage. All the politicians are basically actors. So that's something I believe in. And I believe that it was planned by bad actors. And I believe he was expecting it at the end of his life, especially now. Now that we know what we know from Candice, from our own investigations, from everything we saw said in the articles, that's where I'm leaning to. I don't think he's alive, guys. There were pictures of him, close-up pictures, and they were trying to figure out if he had a prosthetic on his neck. It doesn't look like that to me, unless it was some crazy special effects. I don't know. I just never. No, I don't think he's. What do you think?
So I think if he's alive, that was a pretty impressive demonstration that they did. I know Hollywood can do that kind of stuff and similar types of things, but based on the way he hit the ground, the way his neck was, and that kind of stuff, and there's just too many pieces of it to make me think that he's not still alive. But there's a lot of pieces that are weird, and they can only be explained if he was alive. So that's why I always tell people, like, what's your theory? Which piece do you believe in the most? And I'm just like, can't decide yet. Don't have. There's not. Yeah.
There are so many compelling theories. There are pieces, like you say, in all these theories that are compelling, and you're willing to go like, oh yeah, could be. There are people saying that the reason they, threw him on the ground and so quickly took him to the car is because he was alive, and they didn't want anyone to realize. My theory is that, he wasn't unalived in a way that the official narrative is presenting it to us. So they
panicked.
Yeah, they packed him up into that car because they didn't want anything to show. That's my theory.
So they were going to do it one way or another. It's just the way that it happened wasn't what they planned. Is that what you're thinking?
Yeah, kind of.
Sarah Bryan, thanks for the super. Hi, guys in WAST. Keep up the good work. Washington State. Thanks for that. There is one that I believe was Polish or something. Let me find that. You're going to have to translate. This is going to be Nutella, and then whatever that is.
Oh, it says Kasia is a Polish candy. Maybe they tried to write Candice. I don't know. Thank you.
Marty La Martina, either way, I think it's a compliment. Whether she's Candy or Candice, I think it works.
It works. Candice is a bigger compliment, actually.
And if you guys can really quick, hit that like. And if you can type in the chat where you're viewing from, I'm actually really interested to see because we get some interesting, very interesting places in here. Candy equals Candice. Yeah, technically. That's same guy there. That's Marty.
Mm-hmm. So that's what it meant to be translated.
Moon Goddess, you didn't miss anything yet. We're just getting started. All right. So for everyone who's here today, obviously we are back with Kasia from Daily Fredo. And if you don't follow her, make sure you go check it out. There's the banner right there. It's at Daily Fredo, and she's on YouTube, X, Instagram, and TikTok, right?
Yeah, don't go to TikTok. It's okay.
Oh.
Instagram,
Avoid
YouTube, and X
TikTok.
are fine. Yeah, no, I boycott TikTok after
the incident.
Incident. That's one thing. But did you hear what the new CEO was saying?
No.
About TikTok? Well, the new CEO said that you cannot say anything bad about the Little Hats land and its people. Otherwise, you will be banned and you will be flagged and your account will suffer. So they are combating anti-Semitism, basically, on TikTok. That's their mission.
Someone says Candice knows he's alive. I don't know, guys. Like I said, I know a lot of people have their hopes up that he is, but just don't put too much faith in that unless you see him or hear about him being alive. It's always difficult. All right, so I think what we'll do is we'll go ahead and get started with the opening statement. Thanks to Baron for basically making all of us do this, raising the standards, making a point to the show. Damn him for that. I will go through that and quick announcements, and then we will get into the point of this stream. Many modern-day humans strut about like gods in our own minds, convinced of our unerring wisdom, our flawless judgment. But let's face it, we're fallible creatures, every last one of us. We stumble, we mess up, we chase shadows thinking they're light. And Charlie Kirk, he was no different. That firebrand with his megaphone convictions, rallying the crowds with ironclad truths that crumbled under scrutiny. He preached certainty, but like the rest of us, he tripped over his own hubris, mistaking volume for virtue. In the end, we're all just mortals fumbling through the fog, learning the hard way that perfection is a myth we tell ourselves to sleep at night. Candice stated that Charlie lied to her, which has many questioning why she didn't share this fact sooner. You know, if this is something that was important to the case, why did she hold on to it for so long? It also has people questioning Charlie's character and motives. This isn't to bash Charlie, it's to seek truth in the evidence that the community currently has access to. And quick announcements. Obviously, hit that like. This pushes it out. Double check that you are still subscribed to all your favorite creators and the people that you watch, because the platform is making it so that people are not getting notifications. They're not getting alerts. And many of you have told me that when lives like this go out, about halfway through, you guys all come filing in like, oh, I didn't know you were live. So make sure you hit that notification bell as well. And then obviously special thanks to moderators and channel members for your support. Now, Kasia, for the people who have not seen you before, did you want to introduce yourself quickly?
Yes. My name is Kasia. I was born in Poland, but I live in Cyprus most of my life now. Cyprus, if someone doesn't know, is an island. It's not in Greece. It's a separate country. And I have a YouTube channel for the past over 2 years. That started, I just wanted to do news in English for the Greek audience, actually. for the tourists here in Cyprus or people that are living here like me but don't speak the language. I speak the language, but the people that don't speak the language, they actually miss some news or viral things that are happening here. So that was the aim of my channel originally. And then I did a video about Cleopatra series on Netflix, and it blew up. And actually my channel gained a lot of US based audience, and that gave me the opportunity to actually speak about the things that I was interested in, and that was making fun of blue haired people at that time. So I went with it. Channel took off a little bit, and here I am today. And I just talk about stuff that I'm obsessed with at the moment. Once I'm not obsessed anymore, I move on. And usually my subscribers move on with me. And that's it.
When I think that's important for a lot of people to realize, there are people that are definitely cornered into a certain niche, and that's dangerous, especially if you're niche. For a lot of people who blew up their channels and have a good following at this point, if you initially started off covering the Charlie Kirk case, whenever the case kind of comes to an end, maybe Tyler Robinson somehow was found guilty and that kind of stuff, of course you're gonna have diehard people like, I'm never gonna give up, right? And you have people
Yes.
from JFK and MLK from decades ago that are still looking into that. But your audience is really going to, I've asked my audience this question specifically. Do you want me to cover other stuff too, or just Charlie Kirk?
Mhm.
And I think like initially 70% was like only Charlie. Right. So that would be a bad move on my part if I only did that and kept only doing that. Because once those
Yeah.
people move on, then I would lose a lot of my base.
Yeah.
Let's see, TK Parks. So for anyone that's not aware of this, when you do live streams, YouTube does not provide closed captioning during live streams. So afterwards, you can turn them on, but during there is nothing there. Do you know what that is?
Is it a question for me?
I don't know. It's on the screen. Can you see it?
I don't. Wait, where do I see it?
In StreamYard.
Oh, okay.
It's CZEST.
About the captions? No, I don't. I'm sorry. I don't see it. Can you read it again? Sorry.
I can't read it. It's a different language. But that's all right. All right. So let's go ahead and get into the content here. So we are going to, first, we're going to show this clip and just let me know when to stop it. But we'll start with the Yiannopoulos. What is it? Milo Yiannopoulos?
Yes.
Okay.
So he's a Greek descent as well.
Okay. All right. So we'll play this and then let me know when to stop.
Maybe I will introduce Milo. Maybe people don't remember him. So a while back, before Charlie, Milo was a guy that was going to universities and he was speaking about politics. And he used to represent conservative, funny enough, gay movement. Okay. He then found in between then and now, he found God. He's not in LGBTQ anymore. But back then he was married to a man, and he was going around universities and talking about conservatism, about the right movement, and he was doing it. That's why there were memes even after Charlie was taken out. There were memes with Milo's face and saying Charlie was the good guy, and now you're getting this guy. So he has no filter. He doesn't care, and he has been long enough in the industry and long enough hidden to know dirty secrets of everyone in there. And he has tapes, he has proof, he has receipts, and the outrageous things he's saying, as outrageous they are, nobody has ever sued him because he only says the truth. So that's Milo for you guys.
All right, and really quick while I'm playing this, I'm not sure if your main microphone that you're talking into is selected. It sounds like it might be your laptop microphone. Just something to look at really quick. But I'll play this while you're doing that.
Okay.
I'll tell you what Charlie Kirk did to me. Charlie was a very brilliant, very, very brilliant organizer, fundraiser, networker. Those three things, phenomenal. probably the best in the business, maybe. Certainly one of the top 2, 3. Amazing at those things, but he was also very ruthless. He was a very ruthless person who spent a long time excising and excommunicating all of the most interesting people in politics from the right wing. He did it for a decade. Everybody knows it. Nobody said it because it's not polite in the aftermath of his death.
Charlie gave a platform.
Let me finish. He gave a platform to lily-livered, centrist, weak frauds, faggots, and prostitutes, and drag queens. What he also did at that same time, and anybody in power, what he also did at that same time was systematically extinguish the light of anybody who could not be controlled. And I'm one of them, and I'm going to tell you what happened. When you hear rumors about sexual impropriety about me now, most people are like, yeah, probably true. There's a reason for that. Charlie, when I was at the height of my fame, the height of my popularity, Charlie made up a rumor that I was having sex with children on campuses, underage boys on college campuses, and I was selling them drugs. And he did that because there was no other way they could seize a monopoly on college campuses, because I was just so totally dominant. And they didn't have anybody in the influencer line, because at that time, Charlie was a really shitty speaker. He got a lot better towards the end. I think he got a lot better man towards the end, honestly. I think having kids really changed him, if I'm honest. But at that time, very ruthless person. And they had nobody that could go up against me. He made up that lie. He forced every Turning Point chapter, and everybody has heard 20 instances where Turning Point has canceled somebody. Everybody knows 20 times it's happened, all right? Happened to Ashley Sinclair, for God's sake. Happened to most of us, okay? Most of us. You have walked a very fine line, and because of the broadness and because of the mission that you're on, you've escaped the wrath of Turning Point. But if
I haven't.
Oh, you haven't? Well, oh, no.
They disinvited us.
Little recently. Oh, well.
Yeah.
That's the DNA of the organization. That's what it is. That's what it does. It is a thermostat. A thermostat is a control device. A thermostat's job is to monitor the temperature, and if it gets too hot or too cold, to make an adjustment, to do something to force the temperature.
And why are they losing?
Back where it should be? Because it worked for a very long time, but it did not work in the wake of their most audacious misstep, which is what we don't know about Charlie Kirk's death. There's something, I don't know what it is. I don't know if Candace is right.
Why can't we just accept?
But there's something. Now let me say this.
I
have Charlie on tape telling chapter presidents that if they book me, and this is 2016, 2017, okay? If they book me, he will dissolve their chapters. And he did it on the basis of an outrageous, utterly untrue lie. I was married by then. I was like so stupid. I was completely in love with that guy. I have a completely faithful marriage. It was utterly untrue, and he used it to extinguish me on campuses. I was canceled immediately after Berkeley, so it looks like I went out at the height of my fame. But as you know, there's a lag, right? And I had a tour booked up to Berkeley, but for 9 months prior to that, I couldn't get booked anywhere. I was, because the smart thing to do when you're like that is to book next year now, right?
Yeah.
I couldn't book anywhere. And I found out, and I have evidence, I have the tapes, more than one, that he made up that lie to seize a monopoly on college campuses. And it worked. And he told people that I was having sex with underage students and that I was selling them drugs. Now, I can understand why I might buy drugs from a student, so it was a particularly stupid lie.
So, yes, someone's asking, is this Milo? Yes, this is Milo. So, real quick in chat, based on what you heard, put a 1 if you actually believe this story or parts of this story. Do you think that, not even necessarily just Charlie, anyone who is doing this type of business, are they going to try to oust their competition? Does that make sense? So put a 1 if you think that it's true, and put a 2 if you think that he's lying. And one of you said that you used to buy drugs from high school kids. Okay.
Yes.
Thanks for sharing. Yeah, Nightbot can be a little touchy at times. I think if you're using emojis or caps, let me see if I can turn that off really quick. But yeah, did you want to comment on that, Kasia?
Okay, so I think a lot of people would take it with a grain of salt. If maybe they didn't see the episode of Candace yesterday, who also said that Charlie went behind her back at some point. So he starts his speech saying that he was vicious, that he was ruthless. You know, as good of a guy, he said he got softer once he had kids, which I believe kids either soften you or make you harder depending maybe. But I personally tend to believe that it could be true. Would he regret it after? Would he maybe have some remorse about it later? Very possible. Again, I'm not saying he was an evil person and he was doing it to everybody and he was, going over everyone's dead body just to get up there, just to have a good career. But I followed Milo, okay, and he just says what he thinks and he says it as it is. He accused Ben Johnson of having sex parties with boys as well. And he said he actually met his wife in the lobby of a hotel they were staying at. She was crying. And that was a big deal. And he said, they will not sue me because it's true. You can ask his wife that it's true. So he's just brutally honest, I think. And I think it happened. Did it happen to that extent? I don't know. But I believe that it happened.
Your mic levels are a little bit hot, just so you know. The mic that you're on is a little bit hot. So if you can turn down the input slightly, I don't know if that's possible, or maybe have a little bit further from your face.
Is that better?
So far, yeah.
Okay. My God, this is not something. All right.
Now, did you just turn it down?
I did. Is it fine now?
Yeah, I think it's good now. Audience, let us know if she sounds good. If we sound like we're roughly around the same volume and stuff, then let us know in the chat, please.
Yes, please.
All right.
Forgive me. I have no idea.
Yep, people are saying it's fine. Perfect.
Yay.
Someone else says, I followed Milo a long time. He's honest, very ruthless, but hasn't been caught lying. Now, my question would be, is there anyone else besides him who has come forward with something similar? And maybe that's something you could look at for another video to see if there's like a pattern of that kind of thing.
I was trying to find, it's very hard to find these things after 10 of September, because I think the effort here is to make him seem like he was this perfect guy who never did anyone wrong and who was, God-fearing, and it was all about God is good, about children, about family, about being honest, going to church. And I think the stories like Milo's are being buried on purpose. I don't know if there's many stories like that as well. I don't know. But I know that there is an active mission. We can see it. We can see it in the media. We can see it from TPUSA. You have no right to criticize Charlie. You have no right to criticize Erica. And you have no right to criticize TPUSA. That's the strategy. That's the PR they are going for.
And they also, I've noticed as well, and it's not, in all fairness, it's not just TPUSA, but any company, especially political, they don't want to just compete and get their word out there. They don't want to just talk. They want to take over. They want to own everything and everyone. So I think that might be partially what we're seeing with this whole TPUSA situation. Clearly, they're going into high schools. They're already in colleges and churches. And at some point, I wouldn't be surprised if they go into middle schools and elementary schools. So
yes.
Yeah, and some states are mandating it. So that is, that doesn't seem like what you would normally expect from something like this. It seems like it's an agenda.
Yes, and I saw your video about it, by the way. You played news appearance of Andrew Colvett, how outraged he was that they didn't accept them in this private school, and how dare they, and people need to boycott them, and people need to push inside the students. They need to push for the TPUSA movement to grow. I found it so creepy. I found it so weird. Like, okay, a lot of movements, a lot of organizations were rejected in schools. It's a private school. They have a right to say no. Try again later, But to go on the news and be like, how dare they not accept that? This is silencing conservatives. First of all, nobody cares about conservatives or liberals anymore. People are waking up on both sides, and they're just like, it's about us versus them up there, okay? So I see it keep being pushed left versus right. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. And I'm telling you, in the next election, and the whole world cares about American elections. It's not like we don't follow. We follow, guys. I know that we're not involved. I know we're not in the country. I know we're not voting, but we follow it because it has such an impact on the rest of the world. I get it a lot on my channel. Like, why do you even report on American stuff? You're not even here. You don't even live here. Yeah, because everything that happens in America, it has an impact on us as well. And vice versa. I mean, whatever, European Union will do, it affects you. Whatever Russia does affects you. Whatever China does affects you. It's international affairs. And we have a right to comment on it, right? So it's the same in this case. It blows my mind. So in the upcoming election, it's in the next election, I don't think many people will vote. I think people will be just sitting back and being like, you're all the same. You're all the same. You all work for the same puppet master. We don't care anymore.
Now, did you see what happened with this last election? You had a lot of people on the left go to the right just for this election.
Yes.
And obviously Trump isn't traditional, right? He's not your typical career politician that's been pushing something a certain way for so long. A lot of people have said allegedly that he was like leftist. He was a liberal for a long time. And then he kind of, came to the right side, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
And then so did a lot of his cabinet. A lot of the people in the White House right now are playing that they're conservatives, but they've been liberals or Democrats their entire life. So is it a secret Democratic takeover inside the government acting as though they're conservatives?
I had
Like, what's
these
happening?
thoughts. I had this thought as well, because it is very also it is very suspicious to me that all I see is conservatives arguing amongst each other about Charlie Kirk. Okay, and they're like, "Oh my God, you're gonna throw down the election, and what are you doing? You're damaging conservative movements." Especially, they're accusing Candice of it a lot. And and the liberals are quiet. Like, you don't see anything. Nothing is being reported. They're quiet on X. Suddenly, even like the I don't know if I can say it.
Probably not. If you don't know, you probably can't.
Okay, but the alphabet people, yeah, they're all of a sudden super quiet, and that was a movement that liberals were riding on, right? The alphabet movement, the transitioning movement, all these things. I think it was a scapegoat for them. So like Trump came out and he's like, "Oh, we're gonna end all of that." So the conservatives were like, yeah, we want to end it, so let's do it. And that wasn't the biggest issue to focus on, but we were focusing on it because it was blown out, right? I was focusing on it. I was making fun of it a lot on my channel.
So I want to talk more about politics where you're at, but I want to wait a second. I want to do your tweet really quick, the Candace tweet. So let's cover that, and then we'll come back to Cyprus. All right, Candace Owens. This is insane. I just received a tip that Erica Kirk, Benjamin Netanyahu, and Ben Shapiro were slated to film in a piece of content together in Palm Beach. Daystar was involved in the development. For whatever reason, this filming was canceled at the last minute very recently. Do you have any ideas of what kind of content that could have been? I'm assuming like a podcast or social media or something similar, but it's very interesting.
It is. I don't know if they would just sit down, because from the start of the investigation, Candice claimed that while they were in the Hamptons, they did this intervention or a meeting, if you want to say it, with Charlie. And then Benjamin called him and said, "Oh, we will take TPUSA to the next level." Andrew Colvett confirmed it to her that it happened. Erica lied about it. She said, "No, it never happened." So I wonder if they were going to sit down and being like, "Okay, have you ever called Charlie?" I don't know. It's just, I can't imagine. I don't know what would be the content? What would they talk about? They would definitely talk about Judeo-Christian values, because obviously it's all about God is good right now. And suddenly Netanyahu, can I say his name? I don't know. I'm so scared to say names on this podcast, not to get in trouble. So Benji all of a sudden would be together with Erica, I don't know, praying. I don't know, it would be, I would, look, as weird as it is, and as much as it reveals, I would want to see it. I'm very curious what it would be.
Well, I'm curious too. I know that, you know, there's mixed things people are saying. Some are saying that Charlie was still for the cause and he's like the most, you know, adamant supporter of that place. And other people are saying that he was pulling away from him and he
Yeah.
refused money from Netanyahu. So if that's the case, now we have Erica Kirk doing, you know, photo ops and content together with him, obviously accepting money that Charlie was supposedly turning away. So she's going a completely different direction and doing whatever she wants to do. She's saying she's
Yeah.
honoring what he wanted, and she put out the book because he wanted. She's running the company because he wanted, which, you know, we don't know if that's true or not. But now that she's doing this, these kind of specific things are showing that her and Charlie were not on the same page. That's what I'm taking away from this. And she's
Yes.
going the direction that she chooses to go, which is not the direction Charlie was wanting to go, according to, you know, podcasts and texts and things that he said near the end.
Yes, and according to a lot of people online, and not only podcasters, not only YouTubers, not only Candice, a lot of people online on X are commenting that it makes her look suspicious. Because if he refused someone's money and he was trying to leave the movement and he was trying to go a different direction, as soon as he's gone, she's like, okay, forget what he said. Let's just accept all the money, everybody's money. So in the last episode, and it's not the only episode that she mentioned Pierre, some Pierre guy, apparently, from the land of frogs, yeah, he offered billions. He offered billions to TPUSA, and Charlie didn't accept. And there is a claim from an insider that Candice had that right after the shooting, one of the executives, called that Pierre guy and said, "Okay, we can go for it. Send the money." That's a claim. I'm not saying it's true. Candice also said, allegedly, because it's someone, she got a tip from the insider from TPUSA. But that's very interesting to me because that's already two stories, two big, rich people that from different countries, not even from America, you know, that offered big money to Charlie. He said no, and Erica after said yes, allegedly.
Yeah, I like this question here. How can she be determined to go after Charlie's killer, but now she's exposing Charlie lied to her and was making big deals in secret with a former big Disney executive? Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of pieces here, right? People have messaged me today for my video today. I was asking, you know, more obvious questions that came out, and Candice was talking about that he lied. And I'm like, well, if he's lying to his best friend or supposed best friend at the time, and they have this whole history together and they built the company together, of course he's going to lie to people he doesn't care about, right? Because typically you lie the least to the people that you care about and trust, and you lie to other people more if you're that kind of person. So I'm just like in my head today, I'm just like going through all the stuff he's done. TPUSA, they're influencing the kids. He's going around to, you know, hundreds of sites a year talking to all these college students and stuff. I'm like, you know, what kind of message was he spreading outside of the messages he was having with students that was recorded? You know, so I'm just like, my mind is just going like all these possibilities. Now, again, we don't know for sure. He may have been an upstanding citizen and just lied the one time. And technically, we don't have proof that that lie is real because we weren't there. You know, but
yes,
there's always
but
that possibility.
if we assume that it was true story, I think it only shows Candice in better light because that happened 6 years ago. And she was being smeared for leaving TPUSA because she was being called anti-Semitic. People came up with vicious rumors about her for the reason that she left the company. And she never said the word. Okay, this is assuming that it really happened, that the story she told us is true. So she never said a bad word about Charlie publicly. She never said it was because they had a disagreement even. Nothing like that ever happened. And I think she said it already herself. She said she is biased that it's hard because she's investigating not a stranger's occurrence. It was her friend. And if you remember at the beginning, we were all shouting in the comments like, oh, what about Erica? She's suspicious. She's this, the Romanians. She wouldn't say anything out of respect for Charlie, I believe. And also, before you say something about someone you love or respect or have friendship with, before you say something negative, I think you need to collect yourself and you need to have the facts straight, and you need to make sure that if you're going to say it, it's for a bigger cause and it's going to impact positively. And I think this was the moment for her to say it. Candice, she's playing chess, guys. Don't forget. We're like on a checkers level. She's on a chess level. And I think we will find out why now. We'll find out soon why she said it now.
Have you heard anything about this? I know Baron Coleman has mentioned that Charlie Kirk marriage was on the ropes. He was on Jimmy Dore. And if you guys don't see that episode, it was actually pretty good. He was on there live today. But do you have has any of the research or anything that you've seen so far made you lean that direction as well, that their marriage was on the ropes?
Well, I don't know. No one really from their circle ever confirmed it. But from the stories of Erica, when she talks about their last days and the last night they spent together, could be, I mean, she said she sent him to sleep to a different room. She says it's because, she wanted him to have his sleep and just be amazing tomorrow.
Well, how well do you sleep in your kid's bed? Right? If my partner was like, yeah, I want you to have a good night of sleep, go in that single size bed over there with the shitty springs, and I want you to have a good night's rest. I'd be like, are you crazy? What are you talking about?
Like, I prefer to sleep on the floor. No. And the fact that this is also something that Candice Owens noticed. The fact that he took off his ring. Maybe they had a fight the day before, and he was like, screw that. We don't know. We don't know what happened. We just have Erica's story. But I think more things will come to light. I think people will start talking at some point. They will get tired of covering for someone who's not worth covering for, All
right. Now, there was something that you wanted me to ask, or you wanted to ask during this stream. Do you remember what that was? We wanted to get questions from the audience.
What did I want to? So I wanted to ask what did they think? Like, what would be the content that three of them would film?
Okay, let me do that here really quick. All right. So on the poll, we said, do you believe Charlie Kirk did this to his competition? And that was in reference to the things that Milo was alleging, that he was basically trying to strong arm everyone else and get them out of the way so he had the full circuit to himself. And you said 43% said yes, 40% said not sure, and 16% said no. So 40% is pretty high. Now, this is probably going to happen in any industry, and it does happen in politics. And we know, Charlie took politics pretty seriously. So I wouldn't be surprised. And the fact that Milo's also, I guess he's openly gay. Obviously.
Now he's not.
He's not?
He's not anymore. He's not anymore.
He's not anymore.
Yeah.
So he was, and now he's not?
Yes, exactly.
So he's straight now?
Yes.
Okay. So he's bi. All right.
No.
It doesn't just get erased. So, all right. So let's do your questions here. The question is, what's the question again?
What do you think would be the content that Erica Kirk, Benjamin, and Ben Shapiro would film together? I would really love to see that. Oh my God.
All right, that's set up in chat. If you guys want to put those there, we can actually go over it. It might be mildly entertaining, but
don't hold back.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, so if someone, like this, once gay, always gay. I think anything you've done in the past is always a part of you, right?
Well, yeah, but we all evolve. I think his transition, I would say, the change that he decided that, okay, here's the theory. And I think he got on board with that theory that being LGBTQ is a choice in a sense that we all have some desires. We all, people have some perverse thoughts, and some of them are gay. Okay. Like they have this type of thoughts. And then it's up to the person if you act on it or not. So if you act on it, it's a sin. Doesn't mean that you were born like that. This is a theory, okay? So I think this is what he's going with now, that he was acting on those desires, and then he found God, and he went back to church, and he takes his faith very seriously, to be fair. And he decided he will no longer act on those desires.
Which makes sense from a
Mhm.
religious standpoint, right?
Yeah.
Mar 310, it's his own business. Sure, if he didn't put it out publicly, if he wasn't
Yeah.
publicly openly gay and then publicly openly straight, then it would be his own business. But when you broadcast that to the world, it's not your
Yeah.
business anymore.
Yeah.
But like whatever you want to be is great. Like I don't care. But I don't want that pushed on kids. I don't want that pushed on my kids. So if you choose you want to be that
Exactly.
way, that's fine. Kids should not be indoctrinated into that kind of lifestyle like they were with the previous administration.
Keep it in with consensual adults. Don't spread it in schools, obviously.
All right. Now, I do want to talk about some of the stuff you were talking about today was really interesting. You did some research on TPUSA past employees, giving their feedback on the company. So let
Yeah,
me
that
see if I
was
can. Well, if you want to kind of talk about it a little bit, I can pull it up and maybe we can just watch that segment.
yeah. Well, someone tagged me on X actually, and they found Glassdoor reviews of employees that used to or still were working at TPUSA. Glassdoor is a website where you can review your employer or the company you work for, so people can leave these reviews anonymously, and they tend to tell the truth. And those were very interesting when I was reading them. Entertaining, but very interesting. And I couldn't believe, I'm like, I didn't think about it earlier, just to read some reviews of the employees. So yeah, I did it on today's show. The wildest claims were that everyone was getting it on with everyone in there. And the comment was that Christian industry, like Christian companies, shouldn't be practicing stuff like that. No, it was very interesting.
All right, I think we are queued up. Let's check this out.
Employers they work for. And the X post says, TPUSA employee reviews on Glassdoor are brutal and have been for years. Common theme, terrible upper management and toxic work environment, also sexual harassment, and employees sleeping with each other. Let's check those reviews. First one, titled, Don't. Just don't. Let's see the pros. Met some of my favorite people through this job who I'm still in contact with today. Lots of character growth and love the travel opportunities. Cons. I'm gonna be honest, they don't care about you as a student and they're actually putting effort into making it seem like they do. Once you're hooked and hired, they don't even pretend to pretend. Donors take priority, feasibility be damned. Fun fact, they inflate all of their numbers to get more money from the deep pocket donors. Lots of pushing legal limits. I knew my rights as an employee and they hated it. I actually advocated for myself and my students and they hated it. Higher management actually encourages current staff not to talk to former staff because they'll just drag you down, almost like they know they're awful. I spent way too much time and energy being angry in this job, and I'm only at peace now because I'm on the outside and can breathe again. God works everything for good, and he certainly has. But
one thing that's interesting about this is they talk about donors taking priority. That's not uncommon in business. A lot of the stuff that I've worked in when I was a software engineer, doing that stuff full time for decades, that always happened. We'd be working on a project and someone else would come in with more money and they say, now you're doing this project. And we're like, well, what about that one? They're like, who cares? The money's coming from this new company and they're paying a lot of money. We're going to do this. So shut up and do it. And that's kind of, that's kind of similar with donors. It's what makes everything work. Now they have plenty of money going through the company. I mean, what was it, 50 million, 51 million up through like 200 plus million they've gotten this year or something similar. So there's plenty of money. And as far as donations, it might be more than that. That was just how much money they made, I believe. If anyone knows 100%, correct me, Danks, or anyone, if you're in the audience, correct me. But so it's interesting that the donors take priority in this case. But I had a question on my video earlier today for Charlie Kirk, and it was he receiving, because obviously he said he didn't take any money for like the first 4 or 5 years. He didn't take a salary. So obviously he had to stay afloat with some kind of money from somewhere. And even if he was to do like a book deal or do his podcast or something else, that requires capital up front to do those things. So who was fronting him the money? And it might have just been Montgomery, it might have been Bill or whoever that was, William. But just the fact that he didn't need a salary for 5 years and was probably living decently well off of donor money and people taking care of him, kind of just goes to show you, like, is this a situation where all these people who are living lavishly in this company, are they playing with donor money? And that's just an opinion. That's just, I'm not saying that's a fact, but I find that very interesting. Just the thought of them driving fancy cars and having multi-million-dollar mansions and all this kind of stuff in a nonprofit company. And they all have all this, amazing trading and stuff going on. We heard that, I forgot the gentleman's name. He's on the TPUSA board, and he was apparently doing some financial stuff for Charlie with investments and everything else Barron was talking about. So all of that seems very sketchy to me from the outside looking in. But again, it's just allegations.
Yeah, I saw your video. It was really good. And it let me think as well, because I think that's what Wolf and Finance was getting at. That's what he was trying to not prove, but he found traces of it, that the money was coming into someone's pocket, not really financing things that they were talking about. And here in that review, for a simple employee to have a need and mention it, that donors were coming first, it must have been very apparent, and it must have been very on a big scale, because it wouldn't be the first thing I write about the employee that I don't like. They prefer donors, because like you say, it's normal. If the money is coming from there, of course we're going with it. So what was happening in there for the employer to go like, oh, the donors always come first? Why is that a negative thing for the business? I don't know.
So for this here, Nahanayas or Nahani, yes. So y'all are saying there's no right versus left, but everything that the Republicans are doing is because they're actually Democrats. Got it. No, that's not what we said. If that's what you took from it, you should go back and watch it and absorb it the correct way and try again. But basically what we're saying is a lot of the people that are in the White House right now in this Republican administration used to be Democrats. In fact, I think most of them, especially in his immediate cabinet. So the ones like, leading the FBI, the ones who were, I think like a Secretary of State, all these different people, they all used to be Democrats. Okay. So including Trump, I believe, as well. So it's interesting that it's like, undercover Democrats acting as though they're Republicans. That's what we're talking about.
Yep.
All right, let's see here. It's a uniparty. They're all compromised. Kasia, someone says you're frozen. You don't look frozen to me. Are you cold in there? Is it cold?
Actually, it's cold today. Yes, it's cold in Cyprus these days. But our cold is not your cold. Our cold is like 17 degrees.
No, I'm very interested in politics there. We don't have to do a long version of it. We can get to questions here shortly. But so a lot of people say, we don't care what happens in the U.S. because I don't live there. There's the right and the left. You guys fight and it's ridiculous and whatever else, right? But how are things set up where you are that is either better or different or might have its own problems?
It has its own problems. We have half a country is occupied by Turkey. If you guys don't know, it's been like that since 1974. So actually, north part of Cyprus, exactly half of it, is occupied by Turkey. It's Turkish people, Turkish Cypriots living there. And the south part, where I am, is a Greek Cyprus, Greek side where we speak Greek, Cypriot. And yeah, so we have our own issues. Recently, one of the city's mayor was suspended as well, which we're suspecting has something to do with the current global political situation as well. He was suspended because they dug out some 15-year-old dirt on him, accusing him of stuff that he claims he hasn't done. And we know whose strategy it is usually to do this type of thing. So yeah, it's kind of the same, but we have our own things to deal with here for years now. Yeah. And we are very close to Middle East, obviously. When there were bombs falling on Iran, we could see it on the horizon. Like we were watching it from our balconies when it was happening. We are very close to it. So now it's kind of, as the tensions are growing in that area, we're waiting what's going to happen.
So have you already like armed up and have your bulletproof gear and everything and your preps and all your freeze dry food?
I have my
Ready to
tea.
You have your Fredo and you're good?
Yeah, no. What? We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. I'm not like in a survivor mode. I don't know. I mean, if stuff will happen, you have no control over it, really.
Yeah.
If you're just a citizen, you can do your best to stay safe, but that's all.
All right, let's go ahead and finish up these reviews here, and then we'll get into the questions, because last time our stream got cut off, we'll say. It felt very strange. It felt like someone else cut it off for us, but this time, hopefully,
Yeah.
we'll get through to QA and Super Chats. We apologize last time. No idea what happened there.
Phew. Advice to leadership. More fun facts. Charlie Kirk isn't God, nor is he Joseph Smith reincarnate. If you know, you know. Field reps lives matter. The reps know the kids better than HQ does. The greatest managers put their reps first. Your students are catching on. Okay, I'm into this. Let's read more. This one goes with the title, Highly Unprofessional, Run by Children. Okay. Pros, not many to speak of. Was provided a 7-year-old desktop for my web-based work, as well as a 3-year-old laptop.
Now, I can give a little context there, being that I'm a software engineer. A 7-year-old desktop computer to do web-based work or any kind of software development would not work. That would crash immediately. And even modern ones struggle really hard with the new lines of code and stuff that people write. So that, to me, from an organization that has all these big donors and stuff and, hundreds of millions at this point, that seems very strange to me that there are few web people, I'm assuming they don't have a lot of them, would be getting such old gear. Yet everyone that's flying around is in like first class and, these expensive jets, big mansions, living it up.
Cons. Upper management brings pets to work, making their employees babysit for them. Middle management constantly turns lights off in the office, causing me to have to work in the break room just to have light. Many people gossip for first and last hour of the day, making collaborative work only possible for 5 hours a day. Break room rarely stocks with anything. Sexist remarks are common, especially from director and C-level employees. I was often told lies regarding my work rather than constructive feedback. CEO Charlie Kirk is treated as cold leader, figurehead, with management claiming Charlie loves what you have been doing to try to quell complaints or worries. These are lies, obviously. I was told this only hours before being fired for no reason. Damn. Advice to leadership. Work on becoming more professional and courteous. Do not lie to employees telling them Charlie Kirk loves what they are doing, only to fire them the same day for no apparent reason. Do not have new employees sit in on a meeting during their first day discussing the suicide of a former employee.
So based on the conversation I had today, I think there's going to be some more information coming out from former employees. I can't say more than that because I promised I wouldn't. So just be looking for that coming down the pipe.
Okay.
All right, let's go ahead. Let's jump on questions. And for those who don't know, this is only Kasia's second live stream. I would say this is technically her 1.5 because the first one didn't really finish. So she's still technically in her first live stream. But in the chat, if you would like Kasia to start doing her own live streams on her channel, where you can give her super chats and stuff directly, and you can ask her questions, and you can have fun with her during the daytime for her, put a 1 in the chat.
And I promise I'll invite Matt. We'll do it on my channel as well.
During your hours, so it'll be like 2 a.m. my time.
Yes, exactly. I'll torture you next time.
And for those who don't know, it's like 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning now for you?
Yeah, 5 to 3 in the morning.
Yeah, we have a lot of 1s, so we're gonna have to make that a thing. We have to do Kasia live streams, and it works best if you have like a scheduled time. So maybe like every Friday or something at 6 p.m. or 10 a.m. or whatever works for you.
Yeah, I'll let you guys know.
TBD. All right. We did this one, but thank you, Paul Pearson. He was talking about the whole Hollywood production. Let's see. Well, Charlie's alive, so let's start there. Why did they fake his death? These are for you.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't believe he's alive. If he is, I'm willing to accept it. Okay, so here is the difference about me. Okay, I'm not die hard on anything. I am not willing to die on any hill. I don't have a horse in this race. I already said it last time. So if someone will come up with evidence that, oh my God, he's alive, someone will send over his picture and things like, you don't need to go in my face and be like, you see, we told you so. That's great. It's great if he's alive. I'm not going to be sad about it because I was wrong. I don't see how would it make sense right now. Although it's like you said, when someone is presenting their theory and backs out, and it still looks suspicious. So I'm open. I will say that I'm open to it. I'm open to anything.
This next one doesn't make sense, so we'll skip that.
Oh.
Let's see. I'll take option D. On a private island through a tunnel. That would be an Einstein reference.
Oh, okay. Yeah, this I am willing to believe because there is some evidence to it that looks suspicious to me. The pictures of him allegedly walking down the street, or him, the picture that someone took with a drone. There is a lot to go on here, okay? That this guy could be somewhere sipping drinks on an island.
There was let me see if I can pull her up here. I think it's Lauren the Mortician. Yeah. So she had a video that she did, and I believe she covered why she thought he was or was not still alive. Let's see where it is here. It's this one right here. Yeah.
If you work
So in this video, a mortician explains why this photo doesn't make sense. She breaks down all the different information about the way he looks and his face and the way it's she said typically you would expect it to the skin to look a certain way and different things like that. And she basically, from what I took from it, is she didn't think that was him or that was his body or that he was or that the image of the person they were showing had actually passed away.
Okay.
And, yeah. So if you, I'll link it in the description too. But if you get a chance, go check this out. It's a really interesting video. Sarah Bryan, thanks for the super. Hi guys. Yep, we saw this in Washington State. Keep up the good work. Gina Parrish, thanks for the super. What are your thoughts about what Candace Owens says about no longer being a director when she found out the money they were getting from shady person? I think she knows more than she said so far.
Wait, about no longer being a director once she found out about the money they were getting from a shady person. Okay. Well, we pretty much covered it. What I think, if she quit after that, I said it this morning on my on the episode as well. I saw a pattern with Candace. Anytime she saw something shady, anytime she saw conflict with her own values, she bailed. Okay, and I respect her for that, and I think she made the right decision. Obviously, today we know that it was the right decision because when she saw that something bad was behind it, and it was affecting Charlie as well, she moved on. I think it's good.
I'm just skipping the inappropriate questions.
Oh, there are inappropriate questions.
There always are. What was Kasia's show on Netflix?
My show on Netflix? I didn't have a show on Netflix. There was a show, I think I know what you're referring to. What I said, there was a show on Netflix called Cleopatra, made by Jada Smith, Will Smith's wife, who decided she will do a show about Cleopatra, who is a, Greek descent, Egyptian queen. And she decided that Cleopatra will be played by a black woman. And it outraged Egyptians and Greeks. And they said that the history was being altered. And they called it a pick of wokeism as well. And no, it was a pretty big deal. So I did an episode about it very early on my channel. I think it was the third video that I did on my channel, and it blew up. And then I did a few more about it because there was a lot going on with that. And I was making fun of it, obviously, how I do. The actress of the show blocked me on X. I don't know why. But yeah, so that was it. I didn't have my own Netflix show. I did not.
Not yet.
Not yet, yeah.
Sabrina Bishop, thanks for the super. I'm subscribed and my notifications are on. It did notify me of the stream, but it was dark at first and I could only hear your voices. They know you're getting to the truth. Go Max. Thank you for that. Let's see. When did Milo go on Benny? Didn't he accuse Benny of being a homosexual? Do you know anything about that?
Milo go on Benny? No, he didn't go on. They weren't on the show together. They weren't speaking. It's on this in the same podcast on Timcast that he talks about Benny. There were clips of it for like a month on X. So yeah, you can check it out in that video.
Michelle, thanks for the super. Yay, didn't miss it. Much love to Kasia. And nice to meet you, Trigger Smart. Nice to meet you too. Let's see.
Thank you.
Adrian Clark, thanks for the super. To be president, Charlie needed a wife, beard, not honeypot, and Israel. He was killed, not because he woke up and wanted out, but because he thought he was important enough. He should have a say in what was happening globally. Any thoughts on that?
Well, in the same podcast on Timcast, Milo claimed allegedly that Charlie was gay. He said that. I don't know what he's basing it on. He was joking that he's basing it on because Candice one day she shared the playlist that Charlie had, and apparently this is very gay playlist. I don't know if he has more information behind it. He was joking that it was because of the playlist that he was saying it, but he said he knows it for a fact. I don't know. Charlie needed a wife, beard, not honeypot. And this country. I was saying it at the beginning that maybe he was taken out because he was going towards becoming a president of the country, but there is just so much information that came out since then. I think motives right now are blurry because there are apparently so many people that would benefit from him being gone. So it's hard to pinpoint to one thing.
If you guys get a chance, there is a very big thinking in a lot of communities that many Republican men are closeted gay men. And if you look at this video, Valhalla VFT, it's called, it says Slay Queens. It has some of the Republicans on there. And he does a pretty entertaining spin on it, but that kind of tends to be what people are thinking, that there's more, theoretically gay men on the right than there are on the LGBTQ community on the left. All right, let's see what's next here. I believe it, but why didn't Milo sue Charlie then? And why did no one sue? Why didn't Charlie sue Milo for what he said?
Okay, so we didn't see that. We didn't get to that part of the video. He says that he didn't do it because ultimately he thought that Charlie was a net positive for the country at that time. So he didn't go after him. And look, when it comes to Milo, he has more money than he doesn't have to move his finger till the rest of his life. So what he does is not for money. So he really didn't need the gig, I think. He wanted the gig, but he didn't really need it. So he could afford to step back, fix his reputation in silence, wait it out, and step back in when he's ready. And like I said, in the meantime, he went through this big life change, transition, some soul searching. Maybe that was meant to happen. But ultimately, he said that he thought Charlie generally was a net positive for the country at that time. He was, after he was campaigning for Trump, for Trump so much. So yeah, that's in his words. I don't know. I'm not in his head, so I don't know.
And real quick, make sure you guys hit that like. It's the only thing that lets YouTube know that you're enjoying this episode. And also make sure you follow Kasia. She is at Daily Fredo with 2 Ds on YouTube, X, and Instagram. Just ignore TikTok.
Yes, don't. Who cares?
Do not go to TikTok. And actually, what's that new one called? Upstreamer, upscroller?
Upscroll?
Upscrolled.
I heard about it, yeah.
Yeah,
Are
so
you on
apparently I am. I grabbed my name just in case. I want to make sure no one else took it and tried to use it. So you might want to grab it right now while we're talking, because someone might do it in the audience.
Damn. Are you getting commission from them? Grab it now till it's hot.
No, I'm not.
Giving you business ideas.
I think I just uploaded a logo. That's all that's on there right now. It's basically empty. All right. Someone said turn on closed captions on your device's accessibility settings. Like I was saying before, I could be wrong, but from what I've seen, you can't turn on closed captions during a live stream. Like we can't provide them, and YouTube doesn't naturally do it. And if you see the little CC in the bottom, it's going to be grayed out. I apologize for that, but I don't really know a way around that. Maybe there's something like, I know with OBS Studio, it can do some of that, but I just use StreamYard right now.
Do you get this request on other streams? Because I think it's my accent. Maybe they need captions.
Maybe.
A lot of people are like, "Oh, great information," but I can't listen to this accent. I can't understand.
You could add some sign language with it.
Yeah, right. Like a lady here.
Yeah, just standing on the side.
Yeah.
Let's see. YouTube sucks. Thanks, Sabina Barbiri. Let's see. This is a good one. Lorik, thanks for the super. Kasia, do you think Charlie and Erica had their own children?
Yeah. I don't know. That would be... I think it's very far-fetched to think that they didn't have their own children. I don't know what you think, Matt, but this... I don't know. I'm not looking into that story because I find it ridiculous. They have videos and pictures from the hospital. She just gave birth.
Ultrasound.
Yeah, I don't know. This is too much. It's their kids. And there were also some rumors that she lost custody of her children at some point. I think Project Constitution posted something that allegedly she lost the custody to Charlie's parents, but then she regularly posts her kids
and talks about them on like Fox News and stuff. Like,
yeah, no, I think when it comes to kids, look, you can be a crappy person, okay, in life, and you can do shady things and be allegedly a great mom at the same, allegedly, of course, I'm not accusing anybody, but at the same time, be the best mom to your kids, okay? It takes a very special person not to be a good mom to your kids. And I think she loves her kids. I think Charlie loved his kids very much. So I'm going to also comment about this thing, because a lot of people go like, oh, why is she not with her kids? Where are her kids while she's working? Why is she on stage? Why is she doing this? Why is she doing that? Guys, how many working moms are there? I work, So like telling her she should be home with kids just because, I mean, no, she can work. Okay, it's fine. She doesn't need to be 24/7 with her kids. I find this one ridiculous, truly, when people go like, who's with her kids now while she's doing Amfest? Here in Cyprus, for example, we only get 5 months of maternity leave. I don't know how it is in America. I don't think you get like maternity leave by default in America. I might be wrong. This is what
It
I've been
depends on the
told.
job. Yeah.
So here we get it by default. You know, the government standard is whichever job you're doing, you get 5 months. And then if it's a second child, you get 6 months, and so on and so on. So it's very little, because in Poland we get 1 year and you can take extra year as well. So after 5 months, you need to go back to work. So what, you go back to work and people will be asking, where are your kids now? Why are you at work? It's the same thing, you know? I'm not saying she has to work. She doesn't have to work. Obviously, she's rich. She has money. So she doesn't have to. She chooses to work. And that's fine. If she likes her job and she wants to do it and she wants to do a few events here and there, that's okay. I don't think it's our business. And I'm saying that while I'm not a fond of her, okay? But I'm standing up for this a little bit.
All right, let's see. Adrian Clark, thanks for the super. He publicly declared he stopped Trump bombing Iran, that he had so much power he could walk into the president's office and control the presidency. A dumb boast. I had not heard that. He had to go. Same with Letter to Bibi. Have you heard that?
I heard it. Where did I hear it? Was it? I will look it up. I heard it. I don't remember how and where. I heard that he had the ear of president, and even Candace said that he was with the president a lot, and he had some influence. But this specific claim, I know that I've heard it before, but I would have to, again, find it. I don't know who said that actually.
He met new. That works. Thanks for the super. Keep speaking the truth to lies. Appreciate you both. Vanit, thanks for the super. So in my video earlier today, people were asking what I actually said. So some people said I was saying cap, and some said I was saying caught. But basically, when Charlie got caught lying, I was like, cut! And like yelled in the video.
Oh, I saw that. Yes.
So people were trying to figure out what that was. All right, let's get these other supers here. Await cannot woke. Thanks for the super. I was a Democrat for 30 years. I didn't leave the party. The party left reality. I started waking up in 2016, and I voted conservative Republican ever since. Very interesting.
A lot of people did that. I think at some point, I think in 2023, Conservative Party was what Liberal Party was 5 years prior. So the Liberal Party got too liberal even for liberals. So they're like, oh, that's just too much, you know, when someone is telling you, okay, my pronouns is cookie, and, you know, like, you cannot, you have to abandon it. But I think it was, like I said, it was pumped up for a reason, and it was a scapegoat, and it was used for campaigns. Was it a good strategy? I don't know. It's the same with Kamala, who based all her campaign on abortion. That wasn't a good strategy. We see it happening. And what we saw now with Charlie's, with 10th of September, what happened to Charlie? The Democrats were becoming conservatives again, just because Democrats were posting videos being happy that it happened to him and that he's out and how brutal it was and so on. So then Democrats didn't want to have anything to do with the Democratic Party because of that. I mean, I don't have to explain it to you. You saw what happened. But it happens once in a while. The movement goes too far and people are like, whoa, 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 whoa. Let me go to the other extreme now.
Moon Goddess, thanks for the super chat and for being a member. Matt, totally off subject, but wanted to know who you favored to win the Super Bowl. By the way, my home team is the Seahawks, and my birthday is on Super Bowl Sunday, so the Seahawks are going to win. LOL, go Hawks. I would agree. I would go for the Seahawks Although I believe that Patriots has one more win than the Seahawks, and they both have 3 losses. So if that means anything.
It's
Let's
Chinese
see.
to me.
Adam Thomas Pod, thanks for the super. Hey, Matt, love your work. I'm a new channel. Would absolutely love to jump with you to discuss everything sometime. Keep it up, man. Yeah, sure. Just hit me up. My email's down in the description, and I'm pretty available for the most part. Jenna Parrish, thanks for becoming a channel member. Gorilla Maddox, thanks for the super. My man Matt stays having beautiful women on with him. I think they're shooting their shot with you. I know your husband's listening, so just let everyone know she is married. She is spoken for.
Happily married, guys.
Dennis Voigt, thanks for the super chat. Kasia, you're exactly right, and we're about to see what a badass chess player Candace really is. Always very careful and intentional how and when she releases information. Thank you for doing this together for us. You are both great.
Yeah, she's a master player. She's setting up traps. She said it. She's waiting for the rats to reveal themselves, and I love to watch it. So when someone commented today on my video, and it said, when Candace asks questions, that means she already knows the answer. And that's really true. We know that when she says, I have proof, that she has proof. And whether it's going to be tomorrow or in a month or in a year, we're going to see it. So, yeah.
Well, I know for certain people, like you said, they already know the end. So they're just toying with people along the way. And that could be part of it. I know a lot of people say Baron Sumler. He already knows where he's going. He already knows what's happening. He's already spoken to someone who has the answer. But he asks these questions to mess with them and make them squirm a little bit.
Yes. I mean, it's like, again, the situation with Brian Harpole, right? When she said, oh, someone saw someone at Fort Huachuca. They saw Brian Harpole with a blonde woman. That was the first mention of Fort Huachuca. She never said Erica. But Erica was on a plane already to Candace to see what's going on, to speak to her, to, put it to bed. God is good.
Well, what's interesting about that, though, is that even if she was there, she's there all the time. She did a movie there. Her mom works there. She, she's basically grown up there and hung out there, a good portion of her life. So even if she was there a couple of days before, the day before, does that mean anything? That still doesn't prove anything, but it is interesting.
It's the reaction that makes it suspicious. Because, yeah, if she went out, or even Andrew, for her, okay, as a spokesperson for TPUSA and for Erica now, apparently. If he just went like, well, duh, her mom used to work there. She went to pick up her stuff, or she went to deliver something, or she hangs out there all the time. Like she spent her childhood there. Yeah, we would be like, okay, there is nothing in there. Obviously, she's there all the time. But it's the reaction. It's how secretive and how shaken up by it they were. So I don't know.
Angelina's Corner, thanks for the super. What happened to your YouTube last time, TS, where you hacked? Was it Philadelphia? So what happened last time is a certain word was spoken, and shortly after that, my entire computer froze up. And this has happened before when I had John Bray on, and we were talking about the microphone theory, the one on his chest. When we were talking about that, during that same stream, I dropped like 6 times. And then after that stream was done, my computer completely froze up and I had to take it in, and there was a bunch of viruses on it all of a sudden. So this was similar. And I ran antiviruses and that kind of stuff again. I think I'm going to have to take it in professional place and have them run it more, because I still have a little bit of quirks here and there. But yeah, I think I'm pretty sure I got hacked. And other creators are saying the same thing. They're saying similar strange things, and not just during streams. A lot of us we'll use StreamYard to do the stream, and then we'll use like OBS Studio to record the pre-made videos. And even during the recording process, people are saying that their screens will go black and shut on and off and that kind of stuff, and the program will just like freeze, their computer will crash. And it was kind of all around the same time period, which makes it even more suspicious.
But it's probably coincidence,
Oh yeah, it's just a coincidence.
It's just a coincidence.
Someone said it's probably the sun. It's the sunspots happening.
Oh,
Slimer.
yeah, it's global warming.
Slimer, thanks for the super. After Grace showed that Tyler's handprints were still there weeks later from where he jumped, it's a shame someone didn't try to go lift the prints. That's a good point. That's a really good point. On the Lucy Center, did you see that?
I did not know.
Let's see. Let's make sure we get all the supers. Sleep Lantern Stories, thanks for the super. Do you think that maybe Candace Owens realizes the CK stuff is dying, so she's hedging by throwing shade at CK to really put TPUSA out of business and to stick it to EK? What do you think?
No, I don't think so. I mean, it's definitely not as intense as at the beginning, and people maybe lose interest a little bit. I don't know. There is also a lot going on with the Einstein files. So that's such a good nickname. I'm stealing it. I'm going to use that. No, I don't think so. I think Candice is honest with her pursue, and she told us she will take us for a ride and she will drive it till the end, whether we will be interested or not. The thing with her is that she keeps getting tips. Okay, there are people that out there that genuinely want to help her and genuinely want to destroy her. So she probably gets emails from both, and she probably gets some fake clues as well, people trying to sabotage her investigation. So I think that's what slows her down sometimes as well, because we will have episodes where it's like a little bit calmer and she goes into more history and back stuff, and then suddenly some explosive tip will come in. I want to remind you guys that that's how investigations are. We just don't get to see them normally. Everything is, happening behind the closed doors. She said she will do it openly. Whatever she will find, she will bring to the table. She will try to do her best to check those clues and make sure they're valid. But whether this lead will take her somewhere and will solve some of the mystery, we don't know until we get there, right? And if it's not a valid lead, we move on to the next one. We check this one, we check this one, we check that one, and we're there for the ride with her. So no, I don't think so. And I also judge by myself. I'm not tired of the story. I'm still obsessed with the story. I wish we could know the truth. And I think it will take some time still.
Yeah, I think the other thing that someone when Candace first started covering this stuff, there were certain things that she was holding back, and she would say something like, I have this huge, amazing, breaking piece of the case, but we'll cover that on the next episode. And stuff like that. I was like, why would you do that if you actually had information that was solving the case? But then someone pointed out, they're like, well, it's some of the information that she has is a game to mess with the other people and to try to catch them in lies. That's part of it. The other part is she's not an investigator. Like she's a podcaster. She used to be a political figure and a speaker, and her podcast is about Candace. So people are looking at her like, oh, she's investigator Candace. Well, she's investigating stuff, but that's not what her job is. And that's not what her podcast was originally for. So the fact that she's throwing the stuff in makes sense. And then other stuff will be sprinkled in. Like, hey, guess what this person's doing to me, or guess what Tim Pool said about me, or whatever. That's why it's kind of mixed and going different directions at different times. So if you have the expectation that you're always going to see Charlie Kirk Case stuff, then that's not what her podcast was about in the first place.
Yeah. Do you remember when people expected her to solve this whole thing, the whole case, and find the assassin, sorry, on a Christmas break, when she went for 2 weeks on a Christmas break, and she came back and people were like, well, wait a second, she still doesn't know who did it. She doesn't have proof. Like, let her enjoy her Christmas. No, it's ridiculous. They also expect impossible of her a lot of the times. I just want to remind you that anytime she set up her trap, then it turned out that she did have proof, that she had something on those people, and she had the actual names. She even set up a trap on Erica, and thanks to that, she proved that Erica was a liar. Allegedly, I'll say allegedly, but it literally happened. So, yeah, I'm with Candace.
Just say, Julie, thanks for the super. Hi, guys. Love you both. So happy to see Kasia live with Matt. Kasia, what is your favorite thing about your country?
Which country? I have two.
Country
Okay.
country where you're living, I would assume.
Where I'm living, obviously, I'll say the weather. We have summer most of the year. So we're happy outside on the beach, kids playing in the water. So it's a ongoing holiday here. I love that. I love that people are very positive in this country. I think maybe because of the sun that we get. Because I used to live in London for a long time, and God, I don't know how people do it. No offense to you guys, I could not live in London again. Cyprus is amazing. And when it comes to Poland, Poland is just so rich on every level. Just architecture, nature, it's wonderful. I recommend going on holiday and seeing for yourself, like Krakow or Warsaw, or going to the seaside. Going in the mountains is just wonderful. And I know you guys saw that Poland is being marketed now as the safest country that doesn't have a lot of immigrants, illegal immigrants, by the way, because we have a lot of legal immigrants, especially from Ukraine. But both countries are great. They have their bad things as well, but I love living in Cyprus. I wouldn't live anywhere else, actually. So that's how good it's here.
Sean Hedman, thanks for the super. I find it odd that if CK was texting people that he feared being taken out, why not confide in your wife? Says volumes to me and the relationship. Love you, Trigger Smart, and am now sub to Kasia as well.
Thank you for the sub. I think he confided in his wife, probably. I mean, if they did have this dinner and they prayed over him, I think maybe he told her something, but she said in an interview for New York Times, which I recently discovered, she did this interview, 8 days after, it was 18th of September. I think she did a sit-down interview with New York Times. And she said there that night before, his adrenaline glands were going off and he was very nervous. And they had dinner to pray for his safety, and they were begging him to wear a vest. Then the priest said he should speak behind the bulletproof glass. So they said from the start that he was scared of some curse, that some witches from Etsy, the crafts website, e-commerce website, they put a curse on him. So he was so scared of that he needed the priest, he needed the rabbi, he needed Erica, he needed everyone in his life to pray over him because he had a curse on him. I think, what Candice said on her show, it had something to do with the calls and with the messages and stuff that happened earlier on with other people from TPUSA, with his donors. And he was genuinely scared that he was going to be taken out the next day. He texted that to Andrew Colvett and to the other guy. And I'm sure he said it to his wife. Whether they were on good terms or bad terms on that evening, I don't know, but I'm sure he confided with her. Now, what was her reaction? Maybe that's why she was like, maybe they had an argument about it. Maybe she was like, you're crazy. What are you talking about? Go sleep in the kids' room. I don't know. But I think, she would know, right? That he was nervous about it. Whether she knew the real reason, it's all speculation.
Sabrina Bishop, thanks for the super. And you were basically talking about what she just brought up. So that's why I pulled you up here. She's talking about the witches on Etsy and all of that stuff. She said it seems so shady now. That article was from Jezebel.
Yeah, it was Jezebel that covered it. And they said that someone paid a witch on Etsy to put a curse on Charlie. That's what it was.
Looking for answers. Thanks for the super. For the ones that believe that Charlie is alive, why would he fake his death? That one is, is pretty straightforward. His safety. If he feared for his safety, he'd fake it. If he was, some say like if he's like the kingpin, allegedly, of the whole operation. It's a way for him to hide himself and continue doing what he's doing kind of behind closed doors. There's a lot of different, and it could be something too where maybe they said they were trying to catch certain people doing certain things. So if he faked it, he could take a step back and investigate kind of from a distance and then go back in and be like, hey, we caught you, right? So there's a lot of different reasons. And we saw that one.
Yeah, I think it's mostly safety. Or maybe he was in trouble. Let's not forget that he was scared of federal prison as well at some point. So maybe he got in so much trouble, in so much hot water with one of those people that would benefit from him being taken out, that he decided to take it, to have control over the narrative. But again, I said, this is not the first theory that I'm leaning towards.
And then it could be that he was just done. I mean, if you think about it, he went straight from high school and did this ever since. Super high pressure, always dealing with donors, going around speaking, starting these companies up, tons of pressure all the time. Maybe he was just done. He's like, I have money now. I have my family now. Why do I need to keep doing this? The move, I planted the seed everywhere with TPUSA and TPUSA Faith. There's no reason for me to keep going.
Yeah, let my wife do the work now and sleep on the kids' bed now. Yes.
Let's see. Paul Pearson, thanks for the super. Watch the TPUSA Office parody. Hilarious. I have not seen that yet. I'll have to go find
I
that.
did. Oh my God, it's so amazing. You have to watch it. It's amazing. They did such a good job on this. I can send you a link.
Paul Pearson,
you can play it here.
Thanks for another super. That I'm not going to play it for copyright reasons. The headquarters Turning Point parody a la The Office on YouTube. Funny. Yeah, I'll definitely check that out. Savannah Barberi, thanks for the super and for being a member. If Epstein is alive, then why not Charlie? Well, exactly. If people like they showed pictures of Einstein passed away with marks around his neck, like he hung himself and all that kind of stuff. Sure, it could be similar with Charlie, I guess, theoretically. It's just the difference is obviously it takes a lot more technical prowess and special effects and stuff to make his neck bleed out and everything like that. But yeah, I guess it's possible.
I can ask you a question then. If he was really taken out, okay, why was it so public, in your opinion? Why wasn't it in secret? You know how we hear about serial suicide, or it's always like some guy that was pushed out of the window or something, or jumped by himself. So why wasn't it done this way?
There's multiple reasons. One is his whole thing was being in public and speaking, and he would have been killed while he was speaking. So that sends a powerful message. They're silencing his voice. Mm-hmm. They also did it, if it was synchronized and everything, during a very specific question, which a lot of people say was hate speech. That's another reason why they would do it publicly. Another reason is to send a message to other people like Candace and Tucker Carlson to keep their mouth shut. So, I mean, there's several layers of reasons to do it publicly. If they did it behind the scenes, like a car accident or something, it wouldn't have been as powerful. Mm-hmm. And the other reason as well that I thought about is, I mean, look at all the new chapters. Look at all the people that, started going to churches and that kind of stuff because of it. It started a whole movement. So, like a lot of people say, maybe that was on purpose. They did this whole thing to start a movement and sacrificed him for the greater good, right?
Yeah, I agree. And, in one of my episodes, I brought up my theory, and I'm sticking to it. He never wore bright colored t-shirts on his events, on his speaking events. He never wore a white t-shirt except when he was campaigning for Trump, and it was like the campaign t-shirt with Trump on it, or like America First or whatever. Every other time he had a black jacket on, dark hoodie on, dark t-shirt on, and on that specific day, he wore a white t-shirt with freedom on it. I'm sorry, there are coincidences, but not like that. And then he receives Medal of Freedom. Again, and these powerful pictures of him in the freedom t-shirts, and then all the merch with freedom. I mean, a black polo t-shirt wouldn't sell, right? Like it, I mean, it wouldn't be the same. It had to be a specific message on it, and it worked. Allegedly. I'm saying it, Matt. Okay.
Tammy Hill, thanks for the super. Question, Matt. In the Einstein files, it talks about helicopters flying people from mainland to island. Do you know if there's a way to find the pilots' names? So I know this would be more like a Ian Carroll or Barron type of question, but I know you can get into certain apps like Flight Radar 24, I think it's called. Yeah, Flight Radar 24. You can see the old flights. You can go back through the history. I think you might have to pay at certain levels to see that, but you can go back and you can see what the flight was, what the flight number was, and all that kind of stuff. It does not usually say the pilot or who's on board specifically, but if you really wanted to, you could make a phone call to those places where they were going or that company that owns it, and they might tell you, but there's a pretty good chance they won't. Let's see. Veronica, thanks for the super. Erica is more worried about Bad Bunny performing at the Super Bowl than what happened to Charlie and taking care of their children.
Well, I don't know about the children part. Like I said, man, it's all just so performative with her from the start. I remember the first video I did on it, and I was kind of nervous to put out this video because I knew that I would get hate for it. It was still at the time where it's like, let the widow grieve. Everyone grieves differently. She's just hurt. She's just a very, very good Christian, so she can hide her sadness very well. She's just happy he's in heaven, you know, and all these things. But from the start, as soon as I saw her 2 days later on this live stream that she did, and she was doing the dramatic whispers and from the start, she was like, thank you, TPUSA, you're the best, and amazing Mikey. And she literally made it into a campaign speech. And then her memorial speech, which was just, guys, I promise you, before the memorial started, before she came on the stage, I said to myself, she is going to forgive him. She is going to say, I forgive him. And I wish I wrote it somewhere. I honestly wish I had proof of it, that I predicted the fact that she will be forgiving Tyler Robinson on stage. And she goes out with music. As the music grows, she looks up, she synchronizes with music, and she goes. First, she checks the notes. It's now, I forgive him. So she cares about everything else first, not only Bad Bunny, before her husband's and whatever happened to him. It's just too dramatic and too performative. Even her last interview on Fox News, I don't know if you saw this one. I think it's from yesterday. Mm-hmm. Yes, when she goes, suddenly she talks, and she goes, she forgot the line. She forgot what was the word that she was going to say. So she goes,
it's so hard.
Sorry, it's just very hard. Like, no, she did not. She did not do it again. Yeah. So the fact that she cares about Bad Bunny performing at the Super Bowl is normal at this point, guys. It's normal. It would be weird and surprising if she didn't.
Well, and always playing devil's advocate and try to be fair and balanced, right? That's what a lot of people know this channel for. Let's look at Trump. If something happens in the Trump administration, who do they blame? They blame Trump. If something happens anywhere within the Trump administration, ICE, whatever it is, who do they blame? Trump. They say Trump did this, Trump did that, right? Well, it's the same thing with this. Like, Erica Kirk has all these employees and all this money and all these different pieces of the organization. There could be places handling this whole thing at the Super Bowl without her having to do anything with it. You know what I mean? So, like, to say that, Erica Kirk is obsessed with how do you know? You know, it could be her marketing team. It could be, who knows? She might have nothing to do with it. She might have approved it, put the stamp of approval on it, but that doesn't mean that she personally was like, oh, we got to do something about this Bad Bunny thing. It could have been the PR people. So I just want to throw that out there because I always play devil's advocate.
No, true. And the same with, the email that went out very shortly after 10th of September. Again, I don't know the exact date, but it was like a couple of days later. It was after her online speech as well, when it was from Erica to people. And it was like, what can I say? I miss him every breath. And so they were like using her grief, please donate here, So again, it didn't have to be her, but it comes with the territory. If you take the job, you know that it's going to fall on you. It's part of the responsibility. It's part of that role that your name will be mentioned. Your name is the responsible one for everything. that is happening. So that's on another note.
Sonia, thanks for the super. Love your show, Trigger Smart. I'm a little late jumping in. Which theory are you leaning to the most? So I don't believe he's alive. If he is, and there's proof, I will quickly change my mind. But as of right now, I think he's gone, unfortunately. And the method could have been, some kind of projectile, or it could be, like John Bray's theory is pretty interesting, the whole Mike theory. But either way, whatever way it was horrible and gruesome, and it wasn't just one person. So I think that's the biggest takeaway. Is I think it was a group of people, a very organized event. What about you?
I tend to agree with you. And I also am going to mention, because, we joke around and we investigate and we make fun of different parts of this investigation. I just want to remind you guys, I mean, you probably know because you know us by now. But maybe to those that don't know us that well, we are not making fun of what happened to Charlie Kirk. Okay? Never. The jokes don't go there. They don't go that far. It was horrific and it was traumatizing for everyone who saw that horrible video. No one deserves it. And even when we talk about some shady things that Charlie might have done in the past, again, we are not being offensive. We are not after him. We are not trying to prove that he was bad and he deserved what happened to him. That's not what it's about. Absolutely not. He didn't deserve it. So I just wanted to make that clear.
And remember, they're separate things. I know people get
Yeah.
emotional and they have a really hard time separating their emotions from reality and logic. So it can be true at the same time. More than one thing can be true at the same time. It can be true that he did some good things and was a good person. It can be true at the same time that he did some bad things and made some bad decisions. And it can also be true at the same time that it's sad that he died. Those can all be true at the same time.
Exactly.
All right, let's see here. Erica, thanks for the super. What is y'all's opinion? Bubble pop from gum. I'm not sure what the question is there.
Is that a code for something? Wait.
Bubble pop from
pop
gun?
from gun. Maybe they mean the weapon. Was he? I think they're asking how was he taken out? Was it the pew pew, or was it the? See, we're making jokes. It's not funny. You know what I mean.
Yeah, I think we kind of just covered that.
Yes.
But very interesting way of asking that question.
I don't know if that's what it means. My best guess.
So this is interesting. So let's see. So I already read it. I should read it. Trigger point. What about the physics dude you had on? That's Algeist Nidram. And he proved that it was faked Hollywood style. What are your current thoughts on that? So I had him on the show. He basically have you seen that yet, Kasia?
No, I didn't get to watch it. You told me about it. I need to catch up on it.
Yeah, so he did a bunch of measurements and that kind of stuff and used physics to basically find out that, in his opinion, which has now been verified by two other physicists, by the way, two separate people, that he had no kind of connection with or anything. They contacted me and asked if they could get the data from him so they could verify it in their own way. And they all did it different ways and they all came to the same conclusion. And in their opinion, the bullet never hit Charlie. So he had an opinion that the bullet went into the trunk, because remember the trunk opened right before he got shot and then it closed right after. So he's saying that the shot went into the trunk and Charlie faked it, had the squib and the fake blood and all that stuff. And then they took him, and left. So that was his theory. That's what they're talking about here. So current thoughts on that? I mean, when you have three physicists that have nothing to do with each other and have nothing to gain from it, and they all agree separately that they came to the same conclusion, that's very interesting. So, but again, I'm like I told him in our last show that I did with him, he said he's 100% on it. I say 99 because I'd have to see Charlie in front of me. So it's very interesting. And that's the only reason why, by the way, I even entertained the thought that he was still alive, was because of that theory.
Maybe the fact that the bullet didn't hit him doesn't mean that something else didn't. Do you know what I mean?
Correct.
So still, there are two options still on the table. But this is very interesting. I need to find that video. I want to watch it.
There's 3 different
Very
ones.
curious.
It's 3 different
Mm.
live streams. He was also
I'll
on
get to it.
Yeah, he was also on Jesse on Fire and did an episode there too with the same theory.
Okay. Well, yeah, like I say, I believe that Tyler Robinson might have fired the gun, but yeah, the bullet probably did not hit Charlie. I don't think so. Now this is very interesting with the car, with the back of the car. Okay. I still don't think he's alive though. I think that means that something else unalived him, not the bullet from Tyler Robinson.
Well, it seems like every day we're hearing about more and more people that were not happy with what he was doing or saying. So,
Yeah.
you know, the theory of him being around. Let me see. There was a question about that. Where is it? Why fake his death if Trump could just pardon him? That's a great question. You know, so like, say if he did go to jail from the Biden administration, Trump could just pardon him and pull him out.
Okay, it's a far-fetched, maybe not far-fetched, I don't know, you tell me. What if Trump and Biden work for the same guy at the end of the day?
Or girl, let's be fair.
Yes, let's not be, yeah. Woman or a man, you know. Or if it's the same person, human being. Yeah.
Human creature. Yeah.
Look, we keep saying that they all answer to the same entity, let's call it. You know, they all serve the same master. So would he pardon him? Was he using Charlie to win elections and to get his deals done until, you know, did he like Charlie until Charlie was useful? Again, we're asking questions. We're not stating anything. It's a very good question because it opens 100 more. So thank you. We will have material now to think and not sleep at night.
That's funny. There was trying to see if I can find, because someone was asking about his hands for the body in the casket, and someone sent me an email. I don't know if I can find it quick enough. Where is it?
About his hands being smaller and
well, all of that, which has been talked about a lot, but this one was specifically showing like a close up and showed like the little, you know, you have like little wrinkles and unique features on your fingers and stuff.
yeah.
All of that was in the picture. It was in that picture. So people are like, oh, it's mannequin hands or it's fake hands or whatever. But the amount of detail in them, if you zoom in, looks like it would be too much for someone to be able to do, like, you know, to do with a mannequin or something similar. But then, you know, you see the wax figures. They look very realistic. They always look kind of jacked up, though. They're not like 1-to-1. Maybe because they start to melt or something. I don't know.
Look, I don't know. We in Catholic Church, we do open casket funerals. So I unfortunately had a chance to see someone that was passed. And it kind of, I don't know, I wasn't shocked. I was shocked that she posted it. Erica posted it. I wasn't shocked at what it looked like, to be honest. I don't know. It caused a lot of meltdown online. And people were questioning if it was a real body. I didn't see anything weird with that. I think it did look like a real body. And, you know, I'm not an expert, but I know that the body tends to also like shrink a little bit and stiffen, and all these weird things happen that it doesn't look natural. It kind of looks like a wax figure. So if they wanted him to look like a wax figure, it wasn't difficult to do, because in both cases, it would look like a wax figure. So you can't really prove it from a picture, I think, if it was real or not.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the same woman that I spoke about earlier, Lauren the Mortician on YouTube, she did a video on that too.
Yeah.
She covers
She
all
did?
that. She talks about the color.
What was her conclusion?
That it looks normal.
I think if you had, if you were unlucky enough to see it in real life, you didn't find it weird. You found it, like I said, it was weird that she posted it. It was such a weird video. But no, it didn't weird me out what the hands looked like. It looked normal to me too.
Now, one note she did say, though, is that she didn't think they did a good job on the makeup because it's too yellow. But she said,
it happens.
And also, if they took too long to prepare the body with the embalming and stuff, it can turn more yellow. But yeah,
Ah,
she said she felt like it was as expected.
maybe because of autopsy, because apparently there was an autopsy and all that. Maybe that's why it took longer and that's why it was more yellow. We're getting into very morbid stuff, but yeah, maybe.
Maybe. What would CK have gone to prison for? According to him, it would have been for investigations into TPUSA, and there's some speculation of what it specifically could have been, but it could have been some of the stuff that's being looked into, financials, possibly campaigning while you're a 501c instead of just being activists, maybe going too far across that line. And I know at one point, like I said in my video today, he mentioned that he wanted people to continue pushing forward that way, and he would involve some kind of legal team to help if they ran into some issues. So I think he knew he was really pushing the line of what was legal and acceptable. And I think that's why he felt that way.
It could be because, again, we're balanced, right? So even if it wasn't that, some horrible things that he was doing, or, moving a lot of money where it shouldn't be, and all that, I think there could be an idea that if Biden wanted him in prison, he would use the tiniest reason, the tiniest little mistake to throw him in prison. I think that could be something too.
Aunt Lang, thanks for the super. Kasia, Erica made being a mother a priority over career when she and CK pushed that narrative live to other mothers. So we do have the right to ask why. That is something that a lot of people talked about recently too. Was she was really pushing this whole generation of women to be trad wives, and obviously. So here's the biggest issue I've seen lately. So obviously the economy sucks in a lot of ways, and the cost of living is terrible because inflation is far outpacing salaries and raises. Right? If you get a 2% raise once a year, and inflation is like 4 or 5%, you're always behind, and you get more and more behind over time. So you have a situation where men have a hard time by themselves supporting the household, unless they have like a really good business going on or something else, or they're in like maybe a super high paying job, like they're a NASA engineer or something, right? But it's more rare. I think the average income in the United States, last time I saw, I think it was like 40,000 or something for a man. So $40,000 is not going to support, a family of four. Like if it does, it's going to be you're living pretty rough.
Survival, yeah.
Yeah. So she's telling this whole generation of girls, her and Charlie both, that they should be trad wives, get married young, have kids, and all this kind of stuff, and homeschool and all these different things, which are very unrealistic in modern times. And then at the same time, now she's running the company, and she has the kids. So people are saying that she's a huge hypocrite, and that she basically lied to a bunch of women because she's doing something different.
Yeah, I see the hypocrisy. From the other side, let's say if they were an average family, middle class, and suddenly something happened to the husband, wife would have to step in, right? It's not like... That's why I disagree with that model in our times, especially if you're middle class. I know that it doesn't apply to Erica because she has money. Like I said, she could be just at home with the kids. And that's where our theories about her kind of get a little bit more backing to me, because if they put her in charge, that means she's the only person that could have been in charge. That means she knew everything. That means she had the contacts. She was by Charlie's side. She was speaking at events and so on and so on. So he was involving her actively in TPUSA. And Andrew Colvett, like I said last time, called her immediately and asked her, how much do you know? She said, I know everything. And then they made her the next CEO. There wasn't another person that knew everything, the good and the bad. Okay, so she was the only one that could take this role. Now, she could refuse. She could have refused. There are two options here. Either she was very excited to get that role and she wanted out of that trad wife life, or she truly believed that she will continue Charlie's legacy, like she says. I don't see anything wrong with her working if it's honest, if it's truly she wants to honor her husband, she wants to make sure that his legacy is preserved, she wants to make sure that TPUSA is going the right direction. And the fact that she will go for 2 hours to the office in the morning, and while the kids are at school or at the nursery or whatever, and then the rest of the day she's with the kids and she's making dinner, that I don't see problem with that personally. But I think it's all about what's the true intention here and what she's actually doing during the day, because we don't know that. Now, we have a little bit of insider info that from the day one, she was all day in the office on calls with investors. And that's what kind of bothers me.
And traveling
That's
around and doing
why.
interviews and pushing the book.
Yes. Yes. So I don't think these intentions are truly honest. If it was only the fact that she's going, into the office just to have that board meeting, just to see everything is running smoothly, do a speech here or there, interview here or there, cool. The rest of the time she's with her children and she's still promoting that type of lifestyle. However, if she wants to speak on universities now and continue the same message, she cannot. I think it would be hypocritical. I think it would be dishonest. And I think after her special situation happened, she really needs to look at how people actually in everyday life are living. Because middle class, lower class, and so on, no, they cannot afford for the wife to be home. They would be on total survival mode, barely, okay? And then accidents happen as well, like life happens. Even if you're well off, even if you can afford it, and the husband is providing and the wife is home with kids, what if something happens to the husband? Illness, death, or he will lose the job, and so on. They stay with nothing.
Life insurance.
In our times, yeah, okay. In our times, it's a very real thing to think about. So women have to kind of have that financial security too. Let's see how Erica will be speaking about it now. That's all I'm gonna say. If she's gonna continue the same messaging, then it's just dishonest. I would look at it like she's just full of it.
Let's see. Sonia, thanks for the super. That doesn't mean he is alive, but I have a background in physics, so their data is compelling, but in science, 100% proof doesn't exist. And all the time, science proves itself wrong, right? 100, 200 years ago, the science from back then has been proven wrong. Science from 10 years ago has been proven wrong. And we have heard many, many different times. One nerdy thing about me is I'll read white papers. It's not exciting, but it's interesting. So I'll read like a white paper on vitamin D and vitamin K. And if they actually work the way they say, where the vitamin D is pushing calcium into your bloodstream and then the vitamin K puts it back into your bones. So you don't get build up in your arteries and that kind of stuff. I'll read these nerdy white papers. And as you go through them, you'll read one today. And then in a month, you'll see another article come out, another white paper that disproves the first one. It happens all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So just because it's science doesn't mean it's 100% correct. You're very, very true.
Yes, I agree with that.
We have a correction here. Erica, thanks for a super. Sorry about the gum comment. I didn't know the YouTube rules, LOL. Yeah, we're still learning them too. I'm late to the live, so I didn't know y'all's opinion on what actually unalive CK. I'll listen from the beginning after the live. Thank you. We appreciate that. Someone says it was a huge company, not a household she's taking over. She's taken over the company and the household.
She became the main provider. She became head of the household and she became the head of the company. It's a big shoes she has to fill. And that's why I'm saying it depends what are her true intentions here. That's how I'll judge it.
But now playing devil's advocate against you here. So say that you are in a situation where you're already independently wealthy. You already have money. Your parents have money. You've made money with the company. Your husband had money. There's insurance policies and things, right? You don't have to work. You don't have to work at all. Most people work, like you're saying in your situation, what if the husband passes away or something? It's because they have to work to survive. If you're already rich and you're set and you have investments and everything in place, you don't have to work. The other part of it is she qualified to lead the company? The other part of that is, did the board of directors, the board of directors would have to vote her in. It's actually the board of directors that runs the company, not the CEO. The CEO is just the face of it. So that should make sense for her to be the face of the company. And why would the board vote her in? Now she's on the board, right? So she would have, I don't know if she can vote for herself. I assume you can, but I think there's 5 people. So it's a tiebreaker. But if they
She
unanimously,
wanted to.
well, if
She
they
wanted that role.
well, if she unanimously got that, it seems strange. Is she the most qualified person to be CEO? Because she could have remained on the board and been very involved in the company and not had to have been the CEO. They could have put anyone else there.
Yeah, I know that people keep asking that, but from what we know, she actually was a CEO of her brands and she had businesses and she was involved with TPUSA. She knew everybody. She was taking part in events. She was filling up for Charlie, closing Amfest, I think 2023 she did. So she was involved. If he was confining in her all these years and she knew everything, even the shady bits that we're discovering or the alleged stuff that we're discovering, yeah, I think she was a good candidate for the CEO. However, now you're asking me, she has money, she doesn't really have to do it, she can sit at home. So, if she goes by what she was preaching, yes, she should be just maybe on the board, go on a meeting here and there. And that's why I believe she really wanted to be the face of the company. She wanted that role. She wanted to be in the spotlight. She enjoyed the attention, allegedly. I'm not saying it 100%. I'm saying this is what it looks like to me. Especially that I saw this, I put it in one of my recent videos. There was an interview, one of the first ones of Frank Turek. And he said that when she arrived to the hospital on the day of this tragic day, she arrived, she saw Frank, they hugged, and she said, "We're going to keep his legacy going."
Yeah.
Like what? That is, if she really said that, because I'm having a hard time believing that it was true. But if it was true, if she said that, that is like the most rehearsed and cold thing to say, like a couple of hours after your husband was assassinated. Are you kidding me? You're like falling into the arms of your priest, yeah, because he's a priest or a pastor or something.
Pastor, yeah.
So he's hugging you and you're not asking like, why did this happen? What's going on? Why is he? Why
Or I
me?
miss him.
Why? Yeah, I like, what am I gonna do now? Like I think at first when such a tragic event, such a life-changing event happens to you, you're lost. You don't know what's like, your knee from your elbow. You're like, what's my name now? Like, what do I do? How do we go on without him? My kids, like so many other things to say. But she's like, we're going to keep his legacy going. And that's why I believe that it was kind of like the role she was preparing for. Allegedly, again.
Well, now to that end, she had a 2012 bachelor's degree in political science and international relations.
I said she's qualified.
She later attended Liberty University in Virginia, where she got her Juris Master's in Legal Studies and her Doctorate of Education in Christian Leadership. So
she's been in the business, yes.
She was preparing for this before it happened, it seems.
Yep. So yeah, the argument that she was just the wife and she was just at home, no. Even when they were talking about it together, that she should, that traditional values, wife should be at home with kids until they grow and stuff, that wasn't really honest of both of them because they weren't cultivating that. She was working. Maybe she wasn't super active. Like I say, you can run your business from your laptop while you're at home, go to a meeting here or there. So probably that was more like that once she had kids, but she definitely didn't stay home and just did that. She was also like touring with him, traveling with him. She was traveling a lot. We saw her flight logs, guys, from the past 4 years. She was busy. She was flying around. Okay, so.
I was just looking at the questions we had from earlier. What do you think is the content of Bibi, Erica, and Shapiro and why they filmed the content together? Let's see. There's a lot here to sift through. Eric, so this is what you guys are saying. Jordan Hinshaw, Erica Kirk, a psychopath? Propaganda for the October 7th experience or just propaganda in general? Judeo-Christian content, realty property for Gaza.
Oh, damn.
Let's see.
Isn't she has real estate license as well, you know?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah, that's interesting. Let's see. Filming a promo for TPUSA sponsorship trips to Israel. So that is something they do. I can't remember the girl's name, but she worked with Charlie a lot, and she was part of the planning for UVU. But she like sets up trips and stuff for people to experience Israel and go over there. So I know that's a thing. Let's see. Yeah, I think the rest are unrelated. But yeah, that's interesting. Thanks for putting those questions in there. Okay. All right. So question. I want to say the purpose, but one of the main topics we covered is whether or not Charlie was complacent in some of this stuff and if he was an imperfect human being. So if you guys think that Charlie knew about some of this stuff and there may be more to the story than we think, put a 1 in chat. If you think he's completely innocent and he's just an innocent Christian Catholic boy who is converting or possibly converting, we don't know, put a 2. So 1 if he's maybe part of it, and 2 if you think he's completely innocent. A lot of 1s coming in so far. A couple 2s. Half? Is that 1 and 2, or is that half? No opinion. Okay. Yeah, a lot of 1s. Now, again, this doesn't mean he's a bad person overall. Doesn't mean that there's any proof he did anything wrong. This just means that people are asking that question. And I think, obviously, it didn't help that Candace was saying that he lied about something. I think that swayed a lot of people. And to everyone that's out there, I don't get to interact much with Twitch and Rumble, but I appreciate you guys watching on Rumble and Twitch over there. And I want to thank the mods again for helping out. I think it's awesome that you're doing that. It helps the chats be a lot more civil and a lot more interesting. We don't have a bunch of bots taking over. And make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe and go over to Kasia. Let's see if I can get this banner up. Follow Kasia on YouTube, X, and Instagram. It's at Daily Fredo, which everyone thought Fredo was your name.
No.
I thought that was your name too. I mean, it says with Kasia, in the thing, but I was like, oh, that's Fredo.
That's
hey,
too much
Fredo.
reading.
Like, hey, Fredo. But that is not her name. That means like a coffee drink, right?
Yeah, it's an iced coffee in Cyprus.
Coffee,
That's
yeah.
we drink here. Yeah.
All right, let me make sure, see if we have any other we have, let's see. Always be true. Who explained to those poor kids what happened? I guess they're still very young and didn't see him much anyway, but they need a parent.
Well, she said in her speech that it was her that explained it to them. I mean, look, poor kids, man. Honestly, that's terrible. I don't like to talk about their kids. It pains me as well that one day they will be seeing all this. It sucks. I hope they will never see the video of their dad. No matter what person Erica is, I don't think it's easy to talk to kids about those things. I think she mentioned that she said that Charlie is on a work trip with Jesus and that he's earning budget for their blueberries. And she said every night they're talking about what Charlie is doing, awesome things in heaven. So this is what she said. That's what we know from her. I don't expect her to talk a lot about it. I don't think we should. I think this is like kind of the kids stuff. I think we should leave it alone.
Randy Day Puddles, thanks for the super. Has anyone investigated these Scientology connections? I have not. And I didn't know there were any Scientology connections. So maybe that could be a new angle for all of you investigators out there. I know it started off as like Candace and a few people, and now it's like hundreds of people on X.
Yeah.
And, you'll see people say so-and-so shared this or found this, but there's hundreds of people on X that are sharing tips behind the scenes. There's tons of posts every day. A lot of the ideas we get for shows, we take some information we find and we build on top of that and then give our opinion. And I just want to make sure that, people are getting the recognition that there's a lot of people behind the scenes doing this stuff. But yeah,
A
that's a good
lot.
tip. It's just interesting tip to look at. All right, cool. Well, we've had it here for 2 hours. If you guys appreciate Kasia being here, put Kasia or Fredo down in the chat. I'm going to put Fredo because I like saying that. And make sure you go check her out.
Well.
Yeah. Make sure you go check her out, Daily Fredo, on all the different social media. And again, people would like to see you start doing some lives. So hopefully that'll be coming up here in the near future. If you need help, I can help get you set up and, StreamYard and all that kind of stuff. Make sure you're good to go. We can do tests and everything to make sure you can, everything's functioning as expected. But I think you're natural at it. You do very well.
Thank you. Guys, I was so nervous. The first time I was so nervous. I didn't know what to expect. I was sure that people would be like, why is she on? Like, why her? So I thank your subscribers because some of them came and subscribed to my channel. So thank you so much. Thank you for being nice to me. Thank you to the moderators, like Matt said. And thank you, Matt, because honestly, you made me not be scared of live stream. Anyway, so yeah, I definitely, if I have any questions, I'll come to you.
Well, it's a great way to connect with your audience because a lot of people are already a fan of you. So now they get to see a different side of you. You have more character and personalization this way. So you can really get like a deeper connection with them too. So, and also if anyone's interested in modding for her, make sure you reach out to her. Do you have an email for your tips and stuff or no?
It's just dailyfredo@gmail.com. That's all.
Okay. So dailyfredo, dailyfredo@gmail.com for tips. And also if you're interested in modding for her for the lives, make sure you reach out to her. And, basically, obviously you want someone who is responsible and not going to try and sabotage things. You have to listen to like what her restrictions and stuff are. And you have to ideally be a fan of hers, right? So we don't want any nefarious activity happening there. We do have one more super chat and then we will call it so you can get some sleep because it is 4 a.m. there. Sabrina Bishop, thanks for the super chat. The hand video was Erica's plan to find a way to show the public his hands were not damaged. What do you guys think? So many weird things she's done, but that was so cringe.
I think it was a way to gain sympathy and show how tragically she's mourning. And look, she said, to be fair, she said if she showed something, they would have a problem with that. If she didn't show anything, they would have. That's not true. Nobody expected her to show him in a casket. Nobody would be mad if she didn't. Nobody would be mad if she didn't speak for a month to anybody. Nobody expected her to do anything. She thinks she had this obligation to do all these things, to show everything, to be on camera immediately and to explain what TPUSA is going to do next. Nobody was expecting that. I honestly, when this whole thing happened on September 10th, I was like, poor wife and kids. She must be on the floor in a ball and not able to speak and do anything. And that's what we were expecting. We were expecting her to take some time and then maybe speak, like we would like to hear that his wife is okay. They are doing fine and they are, going through this tragedy, but they have support and all that, normal stuff, like how it goes normally. Nobody expected her to be on camera 2 days later, thanking TPUSA and President Trump. Nobody expected the video of his hands. I think it was just super. It looks to me like she wanted to do those things. She wanted to be famous, let's say. I don't know.
I would say it's definitely not normal to televise private, intimate time with someone who passed away close to you. That is not normal to me. It's not something I would do.
No.
We have Moken says, great duo. Thank you very much. And did you have any, that was kind of a final thought, but do you have any actual like final thoughts for everyone before we head out?
Final thought is, please remember that this is an ongoing investigation and we're just normal people like you. We just decided that we're going to voice our thoughts in public. We're going to sit here on video and talk about what we think that is happening. Okay. By no means we're investigators. By no means people started calling me investigative journalist. I'm not. Okay. I have reading skills, I observe things, I research things, and then I put my dots together and I present it to you guys. You don't have to agree with us. You don't have to slag us for it. You don't have to be, we're just sharing our thoughts the way you guys do in our comments. Ian even always encourages his subscribers, like, start doing videos. This is such a great way to communicate your thoughts. And maybe I always say in my videos, I'm going to put it out there so maybe someone else like Matt can take it, and this will give him, it will inspire him to, discover something more or discover new theory about this case. So yeah, if you guys want to start doing videos, by all means, you will see how it is. It's just literally you're sitting in a room, you're voicing your opinions. And remember that when you're doing your told you. I'm joking.
Well, Kasia, we definitely appreciate you being here. It's been awesome. You did a great job. And I think we'll have to do some more of these in the future, but I would really like to see you maybe do like a test one during the day or something when you're home. Like I said, I can help you out, but I think that you can always do an intro one, like, and name it like my first stream testing out or something similar, right? And people can just come in and say hi or whatever. But yeah, make sure you guys follow her over there, Daily Fredo, and we appreciate you guys being here with us. We'll see you on the next one.